Hello, dear hearts. Welcome to the Indigo Rose Lounge. I am Alyce, your host. I have 27 years of experience of teaching meditation. I have a decade or more of being into it, counseling actively with lots of clients that have gone through my Reiki programs, etc. So I'm not coming to you from a void, and these are not ideas that I am sucking at. The cosmos. Through my lived true experience, I am an indigo child, now adult. And I have survived to here, which is something. I've written a book, I learned to see it normal, and I have an online course in some other. So, this is not a vacuum speaking, speak with experience. And I'm going to harp a little bit about joy and love and how those are the focus of our human experience. Why they are. Because you came here for the love. You came here for the joy of it. You came here for the yay. You've not come here to get bogged down in fear. And so, what do we do with all this fear? How, Alyce? How do we deal with all the fear that comes flying? Well, one really good habit to get into is pivoting. So something comes up at us, it's fearful. You say, okay, what's the solution? Pivot to the solution and put all of our attention there. Attention amplifies. We find that in our human language. Paying attention. Attention amplifies what we're looking at. And so if we look at what we're afraid of, we give it energy. We energize everything we're afraid of, we energize. Which is why I sort of don't understand when people obsess about everything they hate. Well, you're just feeding it, people. You're feeding it. Whatever it is that you're hating on, you're feeding it on your attention. And it's not. Let's pay attention to what we love, what we hope for, what we want, rather than what we're afraid of. So in this day and age, we've lived through quite a bit of fear lately. It seems to amplify. And as much as I would prefer to eat, if no one is stuck in a victim triangle, those are very disempowering. So how do you know if you're in a victim triangle? Well, if you think you're a victim and you see everybody else in the world as a potential rescuer or as a persecutor or as a fellow victim, then you're in the victim triangle. That's a very disempowering space to be because it gives away all your power. But in the victim triangle, somebody is always going to be responsible for your happiness. Someone else is always going to be responsible for your pain, and you have no power. And it's very compassionate. I have a lot of compassion. Obviously, I lived in the victim triangle for a long time. And it took me, I had to pull myself out of there by my bootstraps. And every time I encountered certain people, they would throw me right back in initially. It's only once you've lived outside of the victim triangle for a while that you truly break free of it. So, what does it take? Well, breaking free of the victim triangle takes one clear, conscious decision that you take 100% responsibility for. We'll repeat that. One clear, conscious decision that you take 100% responsibility for. So, I'm going to do X or Y, and whether that turns out well or badly, I'm going to take responsibility for that. I'm going to take 100% responsibility for the good or the bad that comes from that boat. Here we go. That's the first step. Only a person inside a victim triangle can break themselves out. It's like a jail cell that only has keys from the inside. You can't drag anybody out of the victim triangle. I'm sorry. Only rescuers out there. And you could still be stuck in a victim triangle if you see yourself as a rescuer of everybody. You look around your world and you see everyone else as victims or persecutors. And you are the perpetual rescue of everybody. You're so in the victim trying. So, first thing would be to break free of that, because this empowering space is boring. Boring. It's not creative. And it's debilitating. But outside of the victim triangle, we get to explore our own unique ability. You are amplified. The sixth sense person, you are an amplifier. You can amplify joy. You can amplify appreciation. You can amplify love. You're an amplifier. That big satellite dish that you think you've lived your life on with it on your head, receiving messages from everywhere that you didn't know what to do with. Well, that can be turned around. That can become broadcast. You can amplify out to the universe all the emotions that you experience, including the bad ones. So indigos who get stuck in fear can be really difficult dealing out because they amplify that there and they project it out to everybody. There is the enemy, people. Yeah, is the enemy. So how do we navigate there? What do we do? Well, what's the worst that can happen here? Think about it. Here's this looming fear thing. Okay, what's the worst that can happen here? Well, I could die. And then I have an eternal soul and I'll carry on in another formation. Yeah. So either way, I survive that, right? Or what's the worst that could happen here? Well, people could think I'm stupid. Well, you know what? Everyone survived that one once. So think about the worst thing that could happen. And if you survive it, hey, you're golden. Thank God. All right? Fear is something that, oh, if only I could just eliminate one thing from people's experience, fear would be it. Fear is not a positive, it's a destructive element. It decays things. So we want to step out into the light, and we want to know love, and we want to know joy, and that's why we think that. One of the easiest ways to tell when somebody is not acting in your best interest is when they're harnessing that, when they're manipulating that. It is never in the best interest of humanity. Love is. Love is in the best interest of humanity. If it holds the seed of fear, oh, then don't go there. Even these marketing slogans, they're everywhere today. Don't miss out. You're going to miss out. The minute it has fear, it falls off my radar. You know, if somebody could work much better for somebody, told me, oh, you're going to love this. It's going to bring you so much joy. I'm there. I'm looking. The minute somebody says, oh, be careful, you're going to, no, sorry. No, don't want to know about that. Not the way to get my attention. And that's the shift. That's the shift that we could make the decision to put in our lives. The shift from fear, I know you turn on the TV, everything's scary, turn on social media, everything's fear-based. Don't give in the clip. Don't go to that. Even ignore the fear. Start seeing it in black and white. This is love. That's fair. I'm going to choose love. Thank you. Here we go. There's one very basic principle, and start to see when people are trying to manipulate you by when they're starting to make you afraid. You know, people make you afraid, they're manipulating you. Sometimes it's subconscious. It just learns how to do it better. It's not always intentional. It's not always meant to approval. It's still just not cool. It's still just not cool. And I would often confront that in my life. I would say to someone who's trying to use fear against me, I'm sure you don't need to make me afraid. I'm sure what you really want is for me to love this. Then let's go there. Show me how much I'm going to love this. Then we've got something to discuss. You know, people, so you can choose love. in all sorts of ways, all the time. Be aware of it. Be conscious of where the love's coming. All right, your heart. Have a glorious day. Love.